So today we're going to have a talk about the orks, if you can't guess. Basically I'd said I'd do a video of how I've looked at the orks and basically sort of fighting with the orks in 7th edition, and I originally made my first video about the orks. I said that the assault phase was dead, partly due to Overwatch. That is not true. The orks can still do what they do best, and that is get up close and personal and deal the damage. Remember, the orks are a toughness 5 race. I mean, you've got your standard boy is a 4 weapons skill, 2 ballistic skill, 3 strength, it'll be 4 on a charge, 4 toughness, again 1 wound and 2 attacks. So very simple, but they are absolutely a juggernaut once they get rolling. Once you smash into their lines, that is where you can stop them shooting. Or as I've found, you need to either go, it's still possible to have all your boys with slugger and choppers, because they will still do a lot of damage. Only problem is the mob rule, because the mob rule is the single biggest change to it, and we'll just go through it now. So for those of you who don't know, whenever you fail a morale or a pin test, you're all on the mob table. Now, you're all d6, and if you get a 1, you're born to fight. If you are locked in combat, it is treated as if having passed the morale or pinning test. If you're not locked in combat, you count as failed. Now, it's these next 2 ones which are the quite crucial ones. On a 2 to 3, you get breaking heads. If the unit includes 1 or more orc characters. So, first of all your boys now have to have boss knobs, mechs, or any potential named characters. These are an absolute must, because if you don't, you will fail, and that means your boys are running. And again, you've got to have at least... oh no, you don't have to have more than 10 for this one. But again, breaking heads is... it suffers D6 strength, AP4 hits, and is treated as if having passed a morale or pinning test. Hits are allocated randomly, but cannot be allocated to orc characters. Excess hits are lost. If the unit does not include an orc character, it fails the test. So again, you've got to have your characters in there. Normally, for looters, you would not bother having a mech in your unit. Now, I think having a mech in there, purely just for you're safe, in case you get these rolls. And then the final one is on a 4 to 6, you get squabble. If the unit has 10 or more models, again, orcs, you've got to be taking at least units of 20 to 15 boys now, I'd say, is standard, and definitely with heavy armour. But you can still take them without heavy armour, just know that they're going to die. Use them as a shield for your more valuable units, is what I've been doing, and that's been working quite well. But yeah, squabble. If the unit has 10 or more models, it suffers a D6 strength AP4 hits. It is treated as having passed the morale or pinning test. Hits are randomly allocated. If it has less than 10 models, it fails the test. Now, if you have boss pole for your knobs and you get a squabble and you don't have 10 characters, well, good thing on boss pole is you can re-roll, and basically you'll either get breaking heads, which is what you want, to be honest, or if you're locked in a fight, you'll want that. You want one to fight. It's, again, highly annoying, but unfortunately that's what we're stuck with. Again, orks losing Fearless, incredibly frustrating, but there are ways to get it back. Again, rolling a 1 on the Warlord trait. I had a game last night where I had that Warlord trait in effect, and basically they become sandbarges. You basically lock down basically entire units, and what ends up happening is a war of attrition, and basically sooner or later the enemy will break, and it will always be them, because right up until the last boy is gone, they cannot move, and that is incredibly good, because you can lock down their Terminators, their elite choices, just, you know, lock down other troops just to stop them firing at your others. It is ridiculously good. The other thing that is still very effective is the what's known as the burner truck tactic, where basically get a truck, pile it full of burner boys, and just speed about the field setting stuff on fire. It's still a really good tactic. Hell yes. And what's even more important now is trucks, battle wagons. Make sure you have trucks and battle wagons. If you're going to build an orc army, you need trucks and battle wagons. They will enable you to get your boys into the fight a lot faster and a lot quicker. It is highly important. Again, I had the game last night where I had my vehicles on the left hand side, I had some units of boys on the right hand side. They advanced and pretty much got mown down. Some managed to get into combat, but they got again, basically by that point I'd reached combat. My boys were outnumbered, so it wasn't a case of they weren't going to run away, because again I had the Prophet of the Warlord trait in effect, so they weren't running, but so they were locked down. But on this side, I had my vehicles run in, my boys jump out and get in, and they were basically attacking. Unfortunately I lost the game, but I did quite well. Say, I managed to take out a Demon Prince with 5 burner boys, so that was quite an epic moment of the game, certainly. Burner Boys certainly got MVP of that game. Weird boys. You need to take a weird boy. Not having access to psychic powers is such a disadvantage. And when you have psychic powers, you'll then suddenly find that you can now start throwing out more damage. Incredibly good. The other thing, again, HQ choice, valuable HQ choice. If you want to save points on boys and not take heavy armour, take a big mech, put in the give them the custom force field, and basically just roll forward with them. That's all you're going to do. Again, it'll give you a 4 armor save from your shooting attacks. So again, it's what you need. If you're going to do any shooting, boys with shooters, yes, but you are not going to hit anything. If the only reason you are going to hit anything properly is because you are literally got a fistful of about I think if you have a unit of about 30 boys with shooters, you'll be rolling about 30 plus dice. So you're going to get, statistically, you are going to hit something. And that is literally, essentially what you do. You literally just have so much dice that probability you're going to get hits. And obviously then the problem is you're going to wound. So getting hits is just sheer numbers is still the orc's best friend. Armour wise, you've still got your killer cans and your death dread. I think the killer cans are, I'd say, a bit too expensive from what they used to be. Death dread is, I think, still a better option. I haven't seen anyone do a can wall yet, or any battle reports about doing it, the old can wall tactic that the orcs used to do. So I don't know whether that's still an effective tactic to do. But it'd be worth finding out whether that's still viable or not. Other than that, when you talk about the Gazgul book, because the Gazgul book, in my opinion, when I first bought it, actually no, you tell you what, we'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, Orcs 7th edition, awesome. You need to be taking at least, I'd say, 20 boys per unit. Make sure that all your units now have characters, purely for the mob rule tables. Yes, I mean in some cases you might have to sacrifice maybe that turning one looter into a mech, but if you roll on mob rules and you either get a 1 or you get breaking heads or squabble and you don't meet those requirements, your boys are running. And that's, you know, what, let's say you got breaking heads and you had a unit of looters. That unit of looters is gone. No questions asked. Gone. Other than that, if anyone has any questions about orcs, I'll try and answer them the best I can. But yeah, happy wargaming.